Hi there, welcome to my views and news. Two news stories. Ethiopia is denying large scale displacement of people from southern zone, Raya Alamata, Koram. UNOCHA has released three reports so far, sharing the numbers, the stats about the IDPs displaced from the southern zone, but Ethiopian government seems to be disagreeing with the UNOCHA report. Secondly, Getachew Reda, Tigray interim president, talked about the situation in Raya a few hours ago. What did he say? Were Tigray forces involved in Raya? What Tigray militias involved? What did he say? Details for you in this video. Firstly, viewers, UNOCHA, United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Activities in Ethiopia, has released three reports so far to brief about the humanitarian crisis which unfolded after Tigray fighters entered southern zone, Raya Alamata, Korom, etc. In the first report, UNOCHA wrote that 15,000 people had been displaced from this zone towards Obo and Sikota. In the second report, UNOCHA mentioned 29,000. In the last report published yesterday, UNOCHA said that 50,000 had been displaced so far. Almost all of them ethnic Amharas, and the majority of the displaced is women, children, elderly, some youths as well. UNOCHA asked international community to support its operations to provide assistance to these IDPs, and it said the situation was dire. Then yesterday, Voice of America talked to representative of Ethiopian National Disaster Risk Management Commission. This wing of the government is responsible for humanitarian operations, etc., for assistance delivery to IDPs, etc. The representative of the Disaster Risk Management Commission said that the reports of UNOCHA about IDPs from Raya Alamata are exaggerated and far from true. Only a handful have been displaced. There seems to be uh, a huge difference in what UNOCHA reporting and what Ethiopian government is reporting. The government has not shared a number so far. UNOCHA says 50,000. Government did not share a number. It says only a handful. The government is denying the displacement. Why? Are the displaced people settlers? They were not original residents of Raya Alamata. They were settled there, and now they are returning to their homes in Amhara. Or the government wants to cover up the displacement issue because if the issue is propagated, obviously Amhara people in the Amhara region would put pressure upon the federal government, upon Amhara government to secure the return of these IDPs. The issue will go on between Tigray and Amhara, between federal government and Amhara government, federal government and Tigray government. That is why the federal government wants to cover up this issue. Let's see, we wouldn't be judgmental in our views about the situation, but UNOCHA is definitely a credible source. It has nothing to gain from exaggerating the number of IDPs. What it is reporting seems to be the true picture on the ground. Government definitely has some political consequences in mind when it is denying the large scale displacements. But when UNOCHA publishes reports, definitely the reports are published after due verification. Its people are there. The reports are not being published through distant reporting. No, its people are there. They're providing aid to the displaced people. They are there. Government is there too. Government and UNOCHA both are working in collaboration to provide assistance to these IDPs. But government and the UNOCHA seems to be disagreeing about the number. Amhara government should speak, I think, which has been very critical of the Tigray interim government asking the federal government to intervene. It should tell the people how many IDPs have entered the Amhara region in the last 2 weeks. Secondly, what is Getachew Reda, Tigray interim president, spoke a few hours ago. He talked to a news outlet. Questions were asked about the situation in southern zone, Raya Alamata, Quorum, etc. By the way, when Tigray fighters entered Raya Alamata, I said that those who entered Raya Alamata were armed members from Tigray. They were Tigray fighters armed. People said, Sajid, you are anti-TPLF, you are pro-Amhara. Those are IDP, they're not armed. So no confirmation has come from Tigray. Getachew confirmed what I said. He said that the conflict in this zone was not between the regional forces. It wasn't that Tigray regional forces and Amhara regional forces fought. No. Rather, militias were involved on both sides. Tigray militias, Amhara militias. That means it wasn't Tigray and IDPs. Tigray is confirming that its militias and Amhara militias fought. So whether you call TDF a militia or a regional force, but TDF was involved, a confirmation. It wasn't that IDPs entered. So they are Tigray militias, Tigray fighters entered. Secondly, he accused Amhara militias. He said Amhara militias were involved in some activities there in Raya Alamata, so that is why Tigray militias had to intervene. Situation is calm now. Then he was asked a question about the statement from Amhara regional government. We know that Amhara regional government a few days ago issued a statement after TDF's entry into Raya Alamata. Amhara government asked Tigray government to withdraw its fighters from these contested territories, calling it a violation of Pretoria deal, alleging that TPLF had launched fourth round of war on Amhara people, that Amharas were suffering. Getachew responded to it. He said that the statement of the Amhara regional government is unfortunate. Unfortunately, the Amhara government did not take into account the situation on the ground. And the statement should have taken into account the real picture from the ground. But he stopped short. He withheld himself, I would say. He did not criticize Amhara government a lot. Then a question about merger talks between the TPLF and the Prosperity Party. Since yesterday, it is being claimed that Prosperity Party and the Tigray People Vision Fund are in talks about a political merger. Though TPLF issued a statement yesterday denying these reports, Getachew also responded to a question about the merger. He also rejected the reports. He said no talks are ongoing about a merger. Both the Prosperity Party and TPLF are independent, separate entities. Yes, TPLF wants restoration of its status. Its status was not restored by the National Election Board of Ethiopia, for which it is striving. It is not in talks with the Prosperity Party for any political merger. This is what Getachew said. Getachew seems to be asking the Amhara government to accept the status quo in southern zone. I think he should have told, or the questions by the BBC, he was on BBC. Questions should have been asked about the areas under the control of Tigray of fighters. How much of southern zone is under Tigray control now? How many new areas have been taken by Tigray fighters? Where is Ethiopian Federal Police? Where is Ethiopian National Defense Force? Who is in control of Koram city? I think these questions were not asked. But Getachew is asking, he is indirectly asking the Amhara government to accept the status quo in southern